is among nations in the world with the highest number of people practicing open defecation, estimated at more than 46 million people. This is particularly in northern Nigeria, where there is less access to good toilets. In 2016, Nigeria launched an action plan of its own aiming to end open defecation by 2025. The plan involves providing equitable access to water, sanitation, and hygiene services and strengthening community approaches to total sanitation. So far, 27 local governments have been declared open defecation free, while 10 other local councils are awaiting validation. 16 states have declared a state of emergency on the practice. Now, the federal government is worried that Nigeria may not leave the list of countries that will get rid of the practice by 2025. Joining me now is environmentalist John Ekoko. He will be talking to us about this. Good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning, Veronica.
Thank you so much for joining us on the breakfast show. Now, you can hear from the introduction we have given the government's concern that we may not hit the mark of ending open defecation by 2025. And according to reports, the statistics says that 11 out of the 774 local governments in Nigeria practice open defecation. How realistic is it when we talk about ending open defecation in Nigeria?
Thank you, Veronica. Now, open defecation got to the limelight in 2004 when an action plan was taken to the Federal Executive Council. However, it has not been approved.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a joint effort. Federal Ministry of Water Resources, UNICEF, World Health Organization, a lot of partners, including a lot of NGOs. But in 2016, the president made a commitment to ending open defecation. Now the question is, how far have we gone? The sad thing is that instead of reducing, open defecation is increasing. So it means that the strategy needs to be retooled, reworked, because there's a disconnect between the government and the people. Now let's take a few instances. The strategy did not take into cognizance the realities at the different communities.
All right. It was a blanket strategy.
Yes. Meanwhile, there are communities that are flood prone. There are communities that have a collapsible sandy structure. There are communities that are in rocky places. You can't do the same thing for them.
So all of this are critical to any strategy you want to put in place?
Yes.
Really?
Then number two, you have to look at, one, the lifestyle of the people, their economic capability. The man in the Niger Delta and the man in the Northeast, they do not have the same cultural perspective, they do not have the same economic capability.
Okay.
That was not taken into consideration.
But the strategy, if I may interrupt your line of thought, the one that was done in 2006, they did have all of this consideration.
They now had them.
Oh, wow.
They now had them. But the issue now remains. You needed to give the people what I want to call a discretion. One, a knowledge about what you call the sanitation ladder.
All right.
At the bottom is the pit latrine. At the top is the water system. Right? And in between, you have the ventilated, improved pit latrine. You have the shared, toilets.
So are you saying that we should go back to revisiting the 2006 strategy? 16 strategy.
Yes. Now, what has happened is that there is a greater emphasis now on implementing it. But do we have the skill There's a community level, you know, what you call sanitation transformers. They are there. Now, we don't have enough of them. Number two is that you cannot run it as a social service. I'll give you an example. You need to build toilets. You need to put sanitation facilities in place. Whoever does that free? Nobody. There must be some sort of commercialization.
And then there's the issue of access to potable water as well.
Yes, I'll come there. Right? Even then, the local governments have not taken the lead that they should.
Are they empowered to take the lead?
Well, there is a way it was supposed to work. The individuals themselves were supposed to bear 75% of the cost. You should build your own toilet, for crying out loud. But the government can assist you with loans, can assist you with these technical experts, right? Can also build, let's say, the sanitation hub or sanitation supermarket in each local government area. Or
So
you can move to communities
because
at
of
that point.
want of time, if we revisit and take that recommendation of 2016 and we, you know, run with it head on, it will address all of these issues. Is that what you're saying?
No, it will enhance the progress because the states that have external funding have done far better than those who do not have external funding. Because the individuals themselves, there has been a lot of studies carried out, and they've actually shown their willingness and their interest to improve on sanitation. You know, sanitation and lack of it has economic impact, has social impact, has nutritional impact, has educational impact. In fact, even mortality rates. Diarrhea kills about 1 in 15 under 1, 1 in 8 under 5. Then you look at even the women that give birth. When they are weak, the children they give birth to are weak, right? Then even number of girls going to school. The long and short is people know the danger of not improving their sanitation. But do they have the capability to do it by themselves? So when you now bring in an expert and you look at the condition of each community,
All right.
and you take a local government approach, let them work together, you can solve it.
All right.
Mike,
Now,
it's my pleasure.
thank you. We've discussed this issue before, and we've been talking about this, bringing this to the front burner in the last few years. But here we are now talking about the issue of open defecation again. Now, we have just 5 years to go from here. I wonder what you're seeing standing from this standpoint. What are you seeing? Is it possible we'll get closer to eradicating open defecation?
We cannot eradicate it before 2025 because certain targets have been set. 2017 to 2019, 4.3 million. 2018 review. 2021, 8.6 million. 2025, 21.5 million. And in 2025 itself, you are looking at 11.8 million. The issue remains. Presently, we have about 50 million doing open defecation at 3% growth rate in population. Another 50 million will be added. We're having 100 million. So how are we reducing it? We are not. It's simple statistics.
I wonder how challenging this is going to be, because analysts are saying even if you provide toilets, let us assume that toilets are built. The habit of how to use the toilet is another issue altogether. Because when you mess everything up and then everyone has to, you know, go somewhere else. Now, talk to us how compounded
You
is this
said
issue?
everything. We are not putting enough emphasis on having suitable, let me just say, toilets in homes. We need to start from there. And
what is supposed to be suitable? What do you define as suitable
yes,
toilets?
Based on one, local characteristics, geographical, family characteristics, location. There are, those peri-urban centers with high population. They need a different consideration to make sure that each home, as much as possible, has its own toilet. It may be pit latrine, it may be ventilator improved pit latrines, it may be flush toilets, either soakaway system or, the flush with this thing, pits nearby. The long and short is, let each household be committed to building a toilet for itself. And please, I will still emphasize, we do not need gratis handout. The people must be made to know it is their responsibility to have a good functioning toilet. There's no politics about it. Now, they also must know that there's what we call a sanitation ladder. We all cannot actually have the same level of toilets. So let us know the one that we can afford so that we'll go for it. Are you with me? And we can scale up. If you don't know that, you can start from here and maybe after 1 year, get to this level. I told you about pit latrine.
Exactly.
There are different types of pit latrines. With single pit, with double, multiple pits. Yes, it's there. You have the sandplats. Then you have the shared facility, especially in all those congested urban areas. Before you now have the water system or the soakaway system.
But the people who have, because we're talking about people who are really poor, especially at the level where you have a huge number of people who are living below the poverty line. And when some of them inherit the houses that they are living in, others worked so hard, to build a house after so many years. And talking about toilets now, I wonder the wherewithal. So what kind of collaboration should be going on now to assist them?
In fairness, there is a very elaborate program on ground. Okay. But along the line, there's a disconnect. When we were growing up in the 60s, I grew up in Warri. There were a lot of pit latrines. No. Is it pit latrine? What do you call it? That these night men come to pack away.
Okay.
At the time the government passed a decree, pit latrines must be abolished. And it was done.
And what was replaced?
A water system.
Okay.
Right? Most homes. And the government went about enforcing it. Where is the enforcement mechanism today? That's one. Number two is that have we really involved these community residents? Have we made them to buy into it? A lot of studies have been carried out where they show that they are very interested. Have we involved them? If they don't even have the money, have you tried to arrange a credit scheme for them? Don't go and give them handouts. Okay. The money will be diverted. Give them the responsibility to build it. If they don't have, connect them to a credit source. Let them go and get credit, which they will pay back.
And then get the materials.
Build a supermarket where they can get them in every local government. Now, put sufficient, what you call community local government, trained sanitizers to work with them. Then what about the artisans who will build, custom-made toilets to fit each area? Because Nigeria is quite diverse geographically. You have the flooded area, you have the upland area, you have the rocky area, you have the dry area. You can to say each of them requires its own specialist type of toilet.
Exactly, based on the peculiarities of every...
Exactly.
Okay. Well, we wait to see how this is going to go. Government is already concerned whether between now and in the next 5 years they're going to meet it. But you're saying if we go at this pace, then we can't meet it except something drastic is done. Thank you very much, John Ekoko, for your time on the program.
It's a big pleasure.
We appreciate you.